Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be applying pesticides on my crop. I do mainly organic gardening, and I think this is the first time that I'm applying inorganic fertilizer or inorganic substance on my crop, because I had this pepper plant and these pepper plants have been attacked by whiteflies. So I'm going to be using inorganic pesticide to get rid of them, but these inorganic pesticides are not harsh. So I bought this spraying can and I'm going to be using it to mix and spray. So I also got this pesticide, so I'm going to mix it in here and spray this and see whether it's going to have any effect on the pepper that I planted, because it's all covered with aphids and whiteflies. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I hope this works after the application of these chemicals. So I planted some of the seeds of my store-bought pepper. They were growing very well, and to my happiness I was amazed, but I was not happy when I started to notice that they had these diebacks and they had started to lose their leaves. So I had to notice what was happening to them. I checked at the back of the leaves and I saw this white substance and here I come. This is the fastest method to identify that your plant has been affected by either thrips, whiteflies, or aphids. The first one is that you can visibly see the insects running around at the back of the plant. Just turn the under of the leaves and you'll be able to see them moving on the leaves. The second method is that you will feel a powdery substance each time you touch under the leaves of the plant that you feel that has been affected by aphids. The third is that you're going to see black ants, because they feed on the sugary substance produced by these whiteflies. So let's check whether these whiteflies are going to go, or the whiteflies are still going to be affecting us, because I don't see why I should plant peppers and then these whiteflies are the ones feasting on it. They have dropped the photosynthesis level of this pepper. They're making the leaves to fall, the flowers to fall. The production is very low, and these peppers are not F1 peppers, so they are not so resistant. They are F2. I planted them from the seed of an already existing pepper fruit that is grocery store, the store-bought pepper, and so maybe that high disease resistance is not present in it. So I feel that the crop is not disease resistant or pest resistant, so I need to apply this chemical. Now that I've applied this chemical, let's see whether it's going to work, because I'm optimistic that it's going to work and I feel that it's going to work. But as we are waiting for these chemicals to work, please don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, and let's see how this goes. So why intending to use the chemical method to eradicate this pest from this pepper plant? Because they also affected my cucumber that I planted before. You can see the video in my channel. So you can see that I got this can from an online store, and I also got this pesticide. I'm going to be leaving the name of this pesticide towards the end of this video, so stay tuned so that you get to know the name of this pesticide that I'm going to use. And it's a very effective pesticide because it surely worked out, and you are going to see the result of how this pesticide cleared off all those whiteflies that was attacking my plant. So I was going to open the pesticide and read the instruction properly so I will know how to administer it, because I had not have any formal training on how to apply or use this pesticide on food crops such as pepper. So the pesticide came with this cap, so I'll be using this cap to measure the quantity of the pesticide that I'm going to mix in water, and then I'll be applying it onto the affected plants and also other plants that have not yet been affected, because whiteflies are things that can spread so well, and so in order to eradicate them fully you have to spray both the affected and not affected plants. And so to use that, I'm going to fill the half bottle. This bottle is a 3-liter bottle, and so I'm going to be filling it halfway so that I'll prepare a concentrated solution of this pesticide. So I'm going to use it and spray for maximum result, because as you can see earlier, the whiteflies that I had on my pepper plant was a severe case, and so it required a concentrated solution. You can also prepare a dilute solution if you feel that you want to use it for preventive measure, but here I was not using it for preventive measure but curative measure, so that's why I prepared the concentrated solution of that pesticide. So you ensure that this pesticide do not have a contact with your bare hands, and if they do, ensure you wash your hand thoroughly. So now the solution is ready. It's just for me to spray it on the affected areas of the plants. Remember, before spraying, after the date, apply some pressure. Then you also, after putting it, you mix it thoroughly and then apply some pressure onto the the pressure gauge, you see there's a top area of this thing. So after mixing it properly, you apply pressure onto the top, you press it up and down, press it up and down repeatedly, and that builds up pressure inside. So you can see when I try to spray it without applying pressure, you can see that this thing was not jetting out enough water. You can see that it was not sweating out enough water. But when you apply enough pressure inside, it makes the pressure inside the container to build up and then be able to jet out enough water. That is just one of the principles of pressure in this bottle that is being applied. So while I was spraying this, I ensured that I sprayed it directly onto the area that was affected by these whiteflies. And while I was doing this, I could see some of the whiteflies already trying to run. It seemed like the mixture was already producing a burning sensation onto the body of the whiteflies, because I could see them escaping and the ants were nowhere to be found. So now I'm done spraying. I'm going to just continue spraying for over 7 days, and I'll see how the pepper are going to work. If this thing is going to work, then I'll know that okay, that this is the solution for whiteflies. But until that, I will just keep spraying, and then I'll keep you guys updated on what happens to the whiteflies and aphids that have been feasting on my pepper leaves and not allowing my pepper to fruit properly. So on the second day of spraying the plant, you can see that the whiteflies had all calmed down and the ants were nowhere to be found. So I had to do something different, and this was I wanted to spray directly at the back of the leaves. The pests are mostly to be seen at the back of the leaves because they do not want exposure to sunlight, so they feel that that place is the safest place to stay in the leaf, and they end up sucking up all the nutrients in the leaf and end up killing the plant before the plant will be able to produce properly. So I used this stick that I was going to use, and I'll ensure that I bent the leaf properly and sprayed under the leaf so that the pesticide should get in contact with all the pests and drive them all away. So before we continue, let's talk about my crushes. So I have a big crush on like three. So that is how we met, and I'm happy about that. That should be a story for another day. Guys, I'm done for today. Let's see how the result is. Probably, I believe that this is going to work because I've applied a lot of this pesticide on the affected areas, and I feel that these aphids are going to go once and for all. But we're going to try this often. We're going to keep spraying until we can see no aphids more. Then after that, I will then fertilize the pepper with inorganic fertilizer. Let's boost it because it has already taken a lot of time to grow, and I feel that this is the time that we have to use inorganic methods to help boost the production, and that's what I'm about doing now. Before I continue, I bet you love to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe, so please smash that like button and subscribe right now. So as promised earlier on in this video, the name of the pesticide that I applied to this plant is called Larafos. I never expected that the whiteflies would leave as swiftly as they did. After a week of applying this pesticide onto this crop, you can see that there was no whiteflies again on this crop. So the crop started to focus on building more of leaves and then flower formation, and subsequently it to produce more fruit. You can see that the shortest plant there was already producing some fruit, and I was confused at this point, but I had to let nature do its thing, and as far as there was no whiteflies onto the plant, it was just a good sign. I lost track and record of this plant, but here I am today. You can see how the plant is. I have not much to say, but all I can say is that the plant is doing well because we have harvested a ton of pepper from this, and there are still lots more on the plants that we are going to harvest when they are ripen and mature in the future. Apparently this is the longest lasting pepper that I've ever planted, and judging by the looks, I can say that this pepper is going to last another year because it's almost turning to the size of a tree. By the motivation that I gained from growing this pepper, I decided to plant another species of pepper, and this time I went for some chili pepper, and as I usually do, I took seeds from an already existing chili pepper fruit, that is a store-bought chili pepper, and I planted it. And although some had a mutation, but many of these chili that I planted, they actually grew much. I never had the chance to record some of the ripened pepper that we plugged later raw, and so I had this other one ripen on a rainy day, and so I had to just pick it to just test it and confirm the authenticity and flavor of this pepper to know whether that pesticide or the fertilizer that we applied, inorganic fertilizer and pesticide, had effect on this pepper. That's it. This is organic.
When you go to the exam, You see the question, you can't answer it. Do you kill yourself? You leave it.
It is organic. Before everything became stupid, we were all farming organic and eating organic. That's why we lived longer.